Bullet Train is a new action comedy directed by David Leitch, who's made movies such as the original John Wick and Deadpool 2. Ladybug is an unlucky assassin who's determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs have gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as his latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from all around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives, all on the world's fastest train. The best way I can describe this movie is if John Wick and Quentin Tarantino had a baby. If they did, this little batshit crazy movie would pop out. It's insanely over the top and cartoony at times, with some really crazy and bloody violence, kind of like Kill Bill and The Hateful Eight. And the only reason why I'm saying The Hateful Eight is that there's a scene in this movie that reminds me of a very specific scene in The Hateful Eight, but it's mainly Kill Bill. It also has very Tarantino-esque dialogue and just filmmaking choices, such as like character intros and like their names popping up on the screen, and just a really bombastic soundtrack. Even though the action can be like overly bloody and gory at times like Tarantino films, the style of the action is still very John Wickish. A bunch of assassins just using everything in their disposal in these very intense hand-to-hand fights to the death. Now for me personally, all of this works. I really enjoyed watching this movie, but Quentin Tarantino is also my favorite director personally, and the John Wick movies are also some of my favorites. And then on top of all of that, the star of the movie is Brad freaking Pitt, who's just one of my favorite actors of all time. It's really like this movie was just cooked up in a lab for me. As usual, Brad Pitt's amazing. I mean, that's basically like saying the sky is blue. We all know that Brad Pitt's awesome. Brad is playing the Zen assassin Ladybug, who's trying not to kill anybody. He's doing his best and he's just trying to be the best version of himself. As usual, he's just super charismatic and funny and just a joy to watch. They established this very early on in the movie, and they even put in the synopsis that I read that his character has bad luck, and they use that like little character trait and do some really entertaining stuff with it, whether it's different jokes they make or how they implement it into action scenes. They do some really cool stuff with it, and I really enjoyed that aspect of his character. There's also been a lot of rumors going around that Brad Pitt might actually retire after this movie or very soon. And man, I mean, I really hope not. It'd be really sad to see him step away. But if he does feel like it's time to hang it up, I mean, I just wish him nothing but the best and happiness. Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson really steal the show at times in this movie as the hilarious brothers Lemon and Tangerine. Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson, say that fast, that's a fucking tongue twister. They have incredible chemistry with each other and with Brad Pitt as well. Whenever they're on screen together, that's when the movie is at its best, and that's when I enjoyed the movie the most. One thing that's just like super random that I found hilarious is that Lemon is like obsessed with Thomas the Tank Engine, and I used to love that show when I was a little kid. Again, it's just like this movie was made for me, like goddamn. They're both just really likable and really fun to watch. They really add a lot to this movie. Joey King is also in this movie as well, and she's in the movie a lot more than I thought she would be. I didn't think she was going to have the biggest role in this movie, but she actually does play a pretty major role in the story, and I thought she did a really good job. And I hope I say his name right. I want to give a shout out to Hiroyuki Sanada, because he's just one of those dudes where he's in tons of movies, and whenever he shows up, he's just awesome. I feel like he never really gets any credit, so shout out to you, man. You're cool as fuck. This movie also has a few cameos that I just wasn't expecting at all, but they're really funny and I just like them a lot. The movie's also just really nice to look at. It's very bright and colorful, and it kind of matches like the cartoony over the top vibe of the movie. There's some really cool shots in here, and there's some really well filmed action scenes. So I mean, the cinematography overall in this movie was very, very good in my opinion. Now let's get into some of the flaws with the movie. First things first, holy fucking exposition dumps, Batman. The first 20 minutes of this movie is just chaotic. There's no other way to put it. It's just rushing to set everything up. It's really a lot to take in at first, but once it finally slows down and it gets everything settled, it really finds its groove, and that's where it really gets going. I also think the ending of the movie is a little weak compared to the rest of the movie as well. I'm not saying it's bad or that I didn't like it, but there's definitely a turning point in the movie that kind of slows everything down a little bit and kills some of the momentum that we had going for so long. It also starts to go into huge, crazy CGI blockbuster action movie explosion mode, which felt like a little off for this movie. Like I said, basically Tarantino does John Wick, and Tarantino and John Wick both don't do that in their finales. They usually have massive bloodbaths, but not with big CGI bombs going off.
Outcome? Train go boom.
It wasn't a full-blown Michael Bay type beat, but it just felt a little weird for the type of movie it was. I really feel like I'm taking a massive shit on the ending of this movie, but I also thought if it felt like it dragged on a little bit too long. Overall, Bullet Train is a really fun modern summer blockbuster that's definitely worth seeing if you're into this sort of thing. It's got some charismatic performances from the cast, great action scenes, and a lot of laughs. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. It's clocking in at a 90% on the Bravo barometer. I just really enjoyed it, and it's probably one of the best action movies I've seen this year. Like I said, this movie's like a freaking test tube baby made for me. It's just full of crazy shit that I like. And if this review is the shit that you like, make sure to drop a like on it, subscribe, stay tuned for more reviews coming out soon. And if you want to come hang out with me live, play some games, talk about movies, listen to some music, make sure to head over to my Twitch channel, Johnny Bravo 6. We're live Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at around 8 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys so much for coming out to this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.